Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Lore Sports proudly brings to you the best racing podcast in the world. Now, here's your host, Lauren Leach, the color guy, Mark Allen, the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast, presented by the Corp Racing and Valley Gasket. Thank you, Tim, Ben, and Carrie, for all that you do for us and all of the community. It's truly amazing, like we say every time, and it's heartfelt. It is amazing. Mark, episode 185, how are you doing, man?
Dude, you call me back at the man cave. I haven't been around home much this summer, but yeah, I'm at the home cave and got withdrawals, man. I haven't been to a racetrack in a while, so oh man, kind of nervous.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, but we're going one tomorrow night. We're gonna head over to 141, part of their special that's going on this weekend. They got the late models, so there'll be some quarter mile late models from WIR out there, some pro late models from what I understand. So it's going to be a good show out there tomorrow. And then, hey, we're going to shoot over for the Chili Implement Fall Shootout over at Marshfield Motor Speedway on Saturday too. So it's going to be a fun week of racing here. And then, of course, we got Fest next weekend already. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, the weather's going to cooperate for us too, man. So looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, and then this is like the pregame show this weekend, and then we got the big Fest next week. So looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Looking forward to getting back to a racetrack for multiple days this weekend and multiple days next week with Fest. So it's going to be a good one. Hey, man, we're going to have Nick Van on here in just a moment here. He won down at Jefferson Speedway with the Midwest Truck Series. So he picked up another win, picked up a win earlier this year at Wisconsin International Raceway. So thankful that he could join us. They got a big showdown coming up at Fest, and then they'll end their season at the Dallas Raceway Park down there for the following. So they only got 2 races left. The point battle, we had both Brandon Reichenberger and Grant Griesbach on recently. Those two are still in the battle from what I looked at. It's still 4 points in favor of Grant Griesbach, so they got one heck of a battle coming down to it, as we've talked about over the last few weeks. So going to be great to talk some more Midwest Truck Series here over the next few weeks and talk to Nick Van here. So, and then of course we're going to recap some racing and we'll talk some news. So why don't we pause this though and bring on Nick Van?
Let's go to the hotline, man.
Let's do it. All right, Nick, thanks for joining us, man. Before we brought you on here, we're talking about the incredible season you're having with the Midwest Truck Series. You picked up that big win in the Dixieland Delight at Wisconsin International Raceway. Then you do it down at Jefferson, part of the Wisconsin State Championship there. So you're having a heck of a season. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Just like I just told you guys a couple minutes ago, back to reality at work, and you know how that is. Like I said, is it the third Monday of the week or the second Monday of the week? I haven't figured that out yet, but helps when you have a good season and pick up a win and, you know, keep the good season going.
How'd you do it down there, man? All of a sudden I seen social media. Also, there's the 24 in Winner's Circle. How'd you pull it off, man?
Yeah, kind of our 2 wins this season are kind of separate, totally different circumstances. The first win, to be honest, we kind of dominated all day and really had the truck dialed in right. And Jefferson, that was my first time ever actually racing there. We went there last year to race, and the track had that, where it fell apart. So I did get to turn a couple laps in practice, but then the track came apart and they ended up canceling the show that weekend. So we never raced there. And, Andrew was there helping us that weekend. So he had a good baseline of where we needed to be. And, we had a good starting spot. I think we qualified 6th and had a nice starting spot and started 3rd and fell back a little early in the race. And patience kind of prevailed on that one. I think we were sitting 3rd place. Grant was behind us, and the leaders had an incident, and we were able to capitalize and held off for the win. So separate circumstances, but a win's a win. I've had enough that I've lost over the years with, late race caution. So it was nice to have one go our way for once.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit before we come back forward. Your decision to kind of take a step back from super late model racing this year and do the Midwest Truck Series more. We hear so many great things, and we know that the Midwest Truck Series is doing great things. But what went into that decision to kind of take a step back from super late model racing and go Midwest Truck Racing?
It wasn't an easy one, I'll tell you that. And, by far, super late model racing at WR is the most incredible thing I've ever done, racing speaking. But it was just getting hard with Thursday night. I own a few businesses. I have a lot of employees that depend on me, and it was getting tough. Race prepping Tuesday, Wednesday, racing Thursday. You try to leave the office by 2:00, and then good night, bad night. However it fell, it'd be really hard coming into work early the next morning and find excuses to leave early or come in late. And I just couldn't afford to keep shortchanging my week that way with the amount of responsibility I had professionally. And this truck series, we started as kind of a fun gig with me and Brett Piontek, and we really fell in love with it. The weekend racing, trying different tracks, the way the series is run by Drew and Mr. Wood, it's absolutely the perfect series for my race style, my family. I have my son Cooper is going to be turning 7. My daughter Peyton's going to be turning 5. Cooper's already racing kid karts at Dousman and Road America. And we couldn't give up the weekdays anymore. It was getting too tough. And, even though I was out racing late till, get home at 1 a.m., my son still had to go to school the next morning. So I couldn't sleep in anymore. So it just, for right now in my lifestyle, it's just the best option for me and my family.
Yeah, and like I said, the camaraderie with the truck series, you don't hear a bad word about it. Drew is a great guy. The Wood family is great. They're putting in so much to the series there, and it's really felt by the drivers. Every driver, every team, every competitor that we talk about, it's felt by you guys. How important is that to feel that? Because sometimes you don't feel that, and it's just feels off then.
The only thing that really kills racing right now, I said, sports, there's no such thing as bad publicity. It's still good to be talked about. Why is the WWE still relevant? Because it's a TV show. You make it relevant. Whether you agree with NASCAR or not, they made it relevant. People talk about it. Still drives you to watch it. The Truck Series just does such a good job making it the way short track racing should still be. Cost effective, a quality show, great tracks, good attendance. And the drivers in the series, if you look at it, young kids coming straight out, you have kids that are winning races at 17 years old or younger in the series. You have everybody from the Swan that's done everything in the series you could ever dream of, and guys that are perennial favorites like Reichenberger and Griesbach. And then like myself, I've never really fit in anywhere racing. I just love it and I love chasing the dream. And it's kind of one of those things that I always want to prove to myself that we'd be decent at, and to be able to fit in and have some success while being in a series that every single driver, Drew, will message you on a week, say, hey, glad you're back. And it's not just me, it's every driver. He makes you feel welcome. And the way the rules are kept tight, but yet, it's still, they just don't make you, have to, it's manageable, right? But Tech, they pumped our motor after the race, which they should. They impound tires, they check carburetors, they check the rear end. They do things to make it the integrity still in the sport, but meanwhile, being a little bit more laid back. But competition level, I'll gladly argue, eliminate the Slinger Nationals, the Dixieland 250, the race we have coming up in LaCrosse this weekend. I think the competition level in the truck series is pretty tough. Some races we had 30 plus trucks, talent levels ranging, from none to all, right? Some of the guys in the series have forgot more about racing than I know. So yeah, it's pretty awesome to be winning races in that division with the caliber of talent.
Yeah, hey, Drew just put out there, this lap money incentive, man. There's and they sold that out in less than 24 hours, man. So there's a little carrot for you to go after, huh?
Yeah, kind of cool. You always look at the Slinger Nationals as a way to. They always did that with the lap money thing, and I was doing math, and I was like, shoot, there's almost $2,000 in money to win lap money. So it's going to be kind of cool to be able to get out front and lead some laps, I hope. And thankfully we won on Friday rather than Saturday, so I don't have to start behind the invert, and we can qualify in and hopefully get a good starting position.
Hey, speaking of money and people putting money into the sport, you are doing the same thing. You're putting back in with the businesses that you own and doing that, which is quite incredible because, you got your own thing going on. You could gladly find some extra, money for yourself to put it somewhere with your business, your family, your racing, but you're deciding to put it back into the sport. Talk about making that decision to do some of that.
There's always been a supporter of racing. I don't forget what it was like to race on an open trailer and do what I could to make ends meet and live my dream. And I sponsor a lot of vehicles. Today I was kind of curious because we're talking about this. I figured to bring it up. I looked and seen what I've spent this year sponsoring, and it's staggering. So we might have to calm down a little bit on that. But no, guys that chase their dream. It's anybody that's put a helmet on before and raced. There's nothing like it. I don't really get an adrenaline rush doing anything other than getting the stock car, strapping in, and the nerves you feel before, the amount of control, and kind of the fact that you don't think about anything during the race. It's a way for me to check out while fulfilling my dream. And yeah, Drew, they were looking for a sponsor for LaCrosse race, and I don't know how my towing company is going to benefit from sponsoring a race 3.5 hours west of us, but yeah, I just something I felt like I had to do to support the series because the series has made me feel welcome and made me feel like it's my new home. So yeah, glad to help out any way I can.
And I think that just, again, is another reminder of what the series is doing, hits home because, that's the relationship that you built. That's what's having you do it. That's what is having other partners come in and all that. So that's very important there. I want to talk to you about something interesting here, and it's your driving style. Because in the past, we talked about how maybe you like to be a little bit aggressive and all that. But this Midwest Truck Series, aggressiveness sometimes doesn't pay off because you got to keep the momentum up. You're on different engine packages there. So talk about, have you been able to adjust your driving style? Have you had to do that at all, or does it kind of fit into your wheelhouse?
Yeah, it's a weird thing to describe with the Truck Series because you have to be patient, but it's not like the Super where a few laps in WR and I get that right rear so hot I have no grip, and you go from loose to tight and you're chasing the car all around the track. The Truck Series you can drive aggressively, but patience is the key because the harder you drive the truck, you don't get anywhere. You got to capitalize on opportunities. Restarts are a big thing in that series. Get the tires cool, whatever your truck's doing, whether you got to keep heating the front tires, fans on, fans off, whatever you got to do to get that truck to fire on a restart and roll and get the couple spots, settle in, then, cherry pick from there where you can. Historically, the quarter mile WR was known for being very aggressive. I started at the super late models I would say people would describe me as a pretty clean driver, but I try to be aggressive, and I hit the wall a few times and put a stub on the car once, and had a couple other things that happened over the years where you do that. And I still do work on my stock car. I'm lucky to have some people help me, but I still spend 2 nights in the shop working on it, and my time is important, like everybody's, and it just makes you think a little bit. Like, I don't know if I want to put some rivets on this car this weekend, and I don't know if I want to place stickers and create problems. And I have a very good group of resources behind me. But yeah, it kind of makes you change, I guess, age. My son now is racing, and he watches videos of my old races all the time, and I like the new ones he watches. Some of my old races in the 24 when we raced street stock or the quarter mile late model, yeah, we won races, but it created some havoc along the way. So it's nice to kind of have it fall in my wheelhouse now. We're clean, patience, take what you can take, move forward, and sometimes it's just not your night. That's the thing. This weekend, for example, Friday, I think we were top 3 truck for sure. There was no question on that. Saturday, we had to start behind the invert. I think we started 8th, and just kind of got somebody tagged me early in the race, lap 2, fell back a few spots, and by the time I got the truck under my feet, I couldn't move forward. I don't know if it was the track, the rain we had, the weather, but if you watch that race, nobody really moved in that race. It was kind of a little bit of the old belt, and I couldn't do anything. I think we finished 11th. I couldn't go anywhere. And it wasn't the truck was bad. The lap times were there. Truck was good, but I get up behind somebody and I couldn't arc it down into 3 and 4. And, Jefferson 1 and 2 was a 1-lane corner. And 3 and 4, I couldn't get the bike down. I couldn't do anything. So we didn't change anything in the truck. If anything, we had a better night because, they have a 1 tire rule. So the first night we put a left rear under it that we wanted to save for LaCrosse. And the second night we put a right side tire on it. Well, having a new right front should make a big change. We just, we weren't able to move like we were. So that's the competition level is so tight. You look at the qualifying times in the margin between them is just so close. So, and there's a lot of good trucks there. I mean, we built a new piece this offseason. It's been incredible. We've raced, I think, 9 times. We've finished in a podium 5 of the 9. So it's been pretty awesome. But yeah, I just, it's amazing how you can win one race, the next race finish 11th. I don't know. It's the mysteries of racing.
No better way of doubling up, though. So you're helping Maxwell Schultz also in the 84. So you're just doubling your fun out there, aren't you?
I guess that's the first time I've ever been an owner. And Max is a great friend of mine. He gave me an opportunity to purchase his super late model back in, I think, 2019 or 2020. And became a forever friendship out of it. Max's dad, Bob, Max, have been nothing but supportive of my racing. Back when I don't even think I know what a sway bar or bump stops were, they taught me from the ground up on how to race at WR, how to race with class, how to, take a car when it's good, salvage something when it's bad. And I mean, you guys know Max at WR. I don't know if there's a kid that's got a better name for himself than Max. So yeah, it was cool. He said he wanted to try the truck out when we built our new one. I was like, well, rather than sell it, I'll keep my older piece around. And he's doing pretty good with it. He's used to the 500 horsepower late model motors and going down to these truck motors. It's something, I'll tell you. It's a totally different driving style. Keeping the momentum up and, somehow you're on a 10-inch tire and you're still running some wicked lap times, but it just tightens up the field up a little bit because you don't have the engine and, the guys aren't burning the right rear off the car.
I want to continue to talk about you and Maxwell's partnership and driving against him and with him and all that. The win that you got at the Dixieland Delight, he was leading and you had to get by him. He had a little bit of a engine hiccup there. If that doesn't happen, you might have to move him or get super close to him to try to get by him. Was that thought process going through your head as it got later in the race?
Well, it's been a definite conversation piece in our team. I'll tell you that. Many jokes around that. I know for a fact I would have got around him, and he knows I would have got around him. But how I had to do it was, there's like that brotherly rivalry in everything, and me and my brother are the same way. Johnny, it's like you'd wreck your mom for a win, especially my position. It's been a while. And also, though, you want to take care of your buddy. And I remember the super late, I would do anything. Max generally was faster than us in the super late, so I was always conscious of him and his positioning. But I don't know. I think I would have moved him if I had to. And we were very patient. And I followed him for a while and was waiting for him to make a hiccup. Max just doesn't make a mistake. It just doesn't happen at WR. And I was Sawyer is my spotter, and we talked under caution. Was just like, well, what do you think? And I said, I'm going to see what happens here. We're going to roll with it. But, WR is not the kind of track you're going to lay the bumper on somebody. You might stick your nose in 1 or 3, try to set them up and get a run on the front stretch. But, you're not going to bump somebody there. But thankfully it worked out. Kind of was a win-loss, though. I had to buy a new engine for one truck and the other truck won. So I don't know if I won or lost out of that deal, but definitely felt good to bring home the trophy to that race.
What's the future for the 84 truck that Max is driving? Going to LaCrosse and Dells? What's the future look for next year?
Well, Andrew was with us the entire weekend, and it turned into a joke because I think it's a known thing that Andrew builds a hell of a chassis. And a few people are talking to him. So I think I'm going to build a new MRI chassis for it this offseason. And not even that I need one, just maybe to prevent somebody else from getting one. So I think the plan is we're going to put a new chassis into the 84 truck this offseason. Max is having a good time. It's nice when the trucks are similar parts and, we have to have, right now we're running 2 different offsets on the wheels and we can't really exchange parts. So it'll be nice to be able to have, identical twins. So I think the plan is to do that. I do want to get back in a super late. I think I'm going to wait one more year here and see what kind of is going on with WR. And I know they're talking about doing some changes in the super late division there. Obviously, the car count is down, and that needs to be addressed to some capacity. So I think next year, the goal right now is to run the 24 truck full time and go chase a championship. And Max will run some races in a new piece that we built in the office.
Hey, you mentioned Andrew Morrissey quite often, man, and everybody knows how much he can really build a race car, and he's really pretty smart, man. How is that to have him in your corner, man?
It's crazy. You could not have two more polar opposite people than myself and Andrew. He's helmet off speaking, chill cucumber, relaxed, composed, one of the smartest guys I know. I'm type A, hyper, always need an answer, want to know where we're headed. And, my 24 truck, we got that truck. I ordered it like a week after Oktoberfest last year from Andrew. And it got delivered to me 3 days before the icebreaker. Now, mind you, my seat wasn't 100% fitted to me, had none of my, accessories in the truck. And then we go out in the icebreaker. I think we finished third. So, it was kind of a weird thing because I'm like, well, what is this guy? Does he have his, he works great under pressure. He always answers his phone. He cares. I don't have a bad thing to say about him. And I will tell you, he did win the Slinger Nationals as far as I'm concerned. So.
Hey, I want to tell you, I see Mark has his Nick Vance shirt on. I have one. It's just a little snug for me. I got a 2X, and I'm a little above that right now. But I did wear your other favorite driver's shirt on purpose here.
Oh, yeah.
For people that don't know, Nick was a big Jeff Gordon fan in the 24s, kind of transitioned down there. So I kind of had to throw something back at you as a joke.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, I think you got to come. Are you coming to Oktoberfest?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Stop down and grab a shirt.
All right. I'll do that for sure. I need some new apparel, so I'll pitch in and grab one for you. Hey, let's talk about Oktoberfest LaCrosse. A lot of drivers that have driven Wisconsin International Raceway have had success out there. What are your thoughts on going out there for Fest?
Yeah, with our old truck, I think we qualified 4th there last year. Had a pretty good race. Late in the race, truck fell off for me, but I really enjoyed the track. I love the whole weekend. It's kind of a surreal thing. You go there the first time and it's kind of like the country USA of racing, You're at the fairgrounds, camping, which we'll be there camping, and racing literally every minute other than when it's sleeping time. They had, my son, we did a toy fair one day, and they got the Flamingo, which is, I don't know how to describe that, or you got to go. It's awesome. So, and Max will be bringing the super late there. So we'll be helping him at nights with the super late races. And we have both trucks there. And we're going to run the Oktoberfest race, which is, I don't know how to describe that, but that's pretty cool too. Racing against cars that are open wheel basically against you. So, no, we're excited for the weekend, kind of to close our year. That will be the end of our year. We won't be able to make the Dell's final race, unfortunately. So,
what about the double O race? We've seen some interesting vehicles even get in that double O race. So, was there some consideration for that?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm still trying to protect my gem here. It's my first brand new race car I've ever had. So, I was thinking not even racing Oktoberfest, but like I told Drew, I said, man, the race is only 25 laps, and they have a lot of races to get under that weekend, but I'm at least going to race the Oktoberfest race because, they gave away a new engine. It's a cool thing for the fans to watch. And Truck Series won last year, so a win for us there when the Swan won it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that Oktoberfest is one of my favorites to watch because you got the different vehicles that are even on engine packages because you're running the 602 crates and all of that. I have a bad memory of someone in a truck there, so I don't even want to say it. But I remember, I hated. I'm gonna say it. Bryce Miller ran that race. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, and got pretty destroyed in that one. So, but anyway, that race is really cool because you got the 602 late models and you got the trucks, and it's always a battle to see which division is going to go forward. I don't know, I'm not even doing it justice to describe it. It is one of the most fun races to watch during the weekend.
Yeah, they're better than us on entry. We're a little better in the center. Down the straightaway, they maybe have an aero advantage. But yeah, the Swan came out and got a win for like the old WWE versus WCW thing, right? It was a win for us. So and I remember we had a late restart last year, and at one point it was 4 wide. I mean, I think we all forgot that it was supposed to be a little bit of an exhibition race. Nope, it was pretty intense. So looking forward to that on Sunday, and having a nice weekend. And the weather, I mean, I checked today. I think we're gonna have some unreal mid-70s, low 70s weather. Which Oktoberfest is kind of always that wild card, what kind of weather we're going to get. So,
yeah, it's like the old Monday night wars. It'll be the Sunday morning war.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely. As long as we make it through Saturday night. And, I will say this, it's no longer the last race of the year, which is nice. These guys got to still go to the Dells and race one more time. So, there's always something about late season. We could throw another fender on it. And so they got one more race, and which kind of is weird because I think we're sitting 9th in the points right now, and we've run 9 or 10 of the 14 races. So I was kind of figuring out if we had a couple good races, we could finish 7th, which is kind of cool considering we missed a third of the races to this point.
When you're winning, you race a lot more, don't you?
Yeah, it's easy to say when you have success, it's definitely more fun. But also, I will say this, you also kind of naturally turn into a little bit of a sorry loser. I got out of the truck 11th Saturday. We really didn't have a bad race. I didn't scratch it. The truck was pretty fast. I just didn't go anywhere. But I was kind of like underwhelmed, because you start getting the position where, well, we should be moving forward. We should be top 3 every race. We should be, passing trucks. And just the competition level in that series is so tough. It's not always going to be your day. So,
but that sums up the sport, though, because it's the highs and lows, and it's trying to figure out how you're gonna react to those things. And I think that's probably a good thing. You'd almost rather, if I'm looking at you as a driver, I'd want to reel it back a little. So that competitiveness is why we all love this sport. Yep. So that's like a microcosm of the sport is your last weekend here.
Absolutely. I think it was the 13th or 14th race of the season for the Truck Series, and there's been 10 different winners. Myself, Grant, and then Eugene are the only repeat winners of the season. That competition level is awesome. It means everybody's putting the effort in. You're always going to have back markers of a sort in racing, but when you could have 10 different winners in a season, that's pretty cool. That means, I would say there's no such thing as luck when you win a race. The cards had to fall right. You had to be smart. You had to be there, and you had to have enough pace to be able to finish it off. So,
yeah. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you coming on after that win down at Jefferson. It's been incredible to watch you transition over into the Midwest Truck Series, have some more fun. Not that you weren't having fun with the Super Late, but it seems like you're having maybe a touch more fun with the Midwest Truck Series. So it's been great to watch you. I also want to say that what you're doing for the sport is absolutely incredible. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it because we all need this sport to survive, and to have people like you around that are positive, helping other people, putting money into it. Lap sponsor, sponsoring the race. You sponsor WIR to many drivers and teams and all that. It's just incredible. So I want to commend you on that and thank you very much, because we want to all see this sport thrive, and you're a big reason why that is. So appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate what you guys do too. I mean, you guys aren't always the fan favorite when somebody wrecks and you hear the old word "not safe," right? But appreciate what you guys do. I think it's awesome, and I depend on it because it's impossible with the way the sport is, with how many nights a week that races get ran. It's nice to be able to log in on Lore Sports and see, hey, this is what happened. This is who won. This is some bad luck that happened. Even though sometimes it's not convenient for you, and I've been a part of your videos a few times over the years. So no, I definitely appreciate what you guys are doing for the sport as well. And it takes all of us because, the financial changes that have happened in the economy, what it takes to race, the generational changes, the political changes, to be able to keep this sport thriving is pretty incredible. And it takes everybody. So.
Thanks, man. Good luck. I'm looking forward to tipping a beer with you over at Oktoberfest, man.
You better, Mark.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, buddy. We'll be there.
Take care, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Well, Mark, we appreciate Nick coming on, and like I said, he's such a big supporter of the sport, loves the sport himself. I know we talked about his story a few years ago. I encourage people to go search for that. I know it's on Spotify and some other sites there. We had him on a few years back talking about him jumping up into the super late model and all that, and he has an incredible story there. So it's a good one. But great to hear back from him. That big win at WIR. It was almost like a weight was lifted off his shoulders. You know, you saw him come out of the car. It was almost like relief and you know, just like, yes, we're back in victory lane. We're having fun with this deal. The Midwest Truck Series is an amazing series, and it's perfect for him, especially right now.
Yeah, that was such a popular victory, dude. And, yeah, just like he acted like, look, I can do this, you know. And now his expectations are so much higher that when he has a bad run, it's more of a bummer than anything else because they know that they can do it, you know. So.
Yeah, and you know that's the sport in a whole, from the highs to the lows to the we should be doing this and all that, and that's why what they're all chasing and what we all love watching is them chasing it. So, yeah, like I said, it's a microcosm of kind of the sport there to hear about his last weekend and how he feels and all that. But cool to see that team have some success. His family is great. Cool that Maxwell gets to drive a truck with him as well, and him and Brett Piontek coming together. Brett was a tremendous super late model driver in general, I should say. So cool to see them come together, create this team, and have success.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, not only in success, it's the truck series itself, man. We love the Midwest trucks and how they put on a show at any racetrack they go to, man. It's one heck of a show. You know, a lot of times it's the undercard, man, but it ranks right up there, man. It's good stuff.
No doubt. Yep, we say that all the time. Couldn't be more true. Well, let's talk about some other racing here. Talking about the Midwest Truck Series. So Nick Van won on that Friday night. Eugene Gregorich III got another win down there. Grant Griesbach was crowned the state champion, though, down there. Also, the Pro Late models down there, I just want to mention this. Bilderback and Erickson won those races. So it was a great weekend of racing down at Jefferson.
Down at the cornfield, yes. It looked like a good show down there for sure, man.
Over in Elko with the Midwest Tour, Ty Fredrickson won the Thunderstruck 93. It was Fredrickson, Goede, and Johnson. Fredrickson, you could tell that win meant a lot for him and his family. Dan Ryan, who is what the race is after with the Thunderstruck 93, they they were close. Dan was a mentor to Dan Fredrickson, and that meant a lot to the Fredrickson family. So that was really cool. And they had a cool guitar trophy given away. So that went to Ty Fredrickson and team. So great show over in Elko, it looked like, with the Midwest Tour.
It definitely was, man. One thing led to another. Didn't get over there, man. It's one racetrack that is on my bucket list, and I'll probably try to make that next year for sure.
Also, a tremendous late model race there between Tim Anderson and Jacob Goede. Jacob was running the late model race to try to become the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series national champion. What a battle they had. And Jacob Goede came out top. They actually wrecked at the start-finish line there. Goede was just ahead of Tim Anderson. And with 10 wins, 25 top fives at 3 tracks this year, Jacob Goede did win the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series National Championship. So cool for Jacob Goede to win that. And he'll be at Oktoberfest in the Chase Motorsports number 47. So he's got a big fest weekend coming up here too.
And we know how he gets around LaCrosse, man. So, that's going to be a good one. Yeah, that race ended up in a shower of sparks, but he got her wound up just in time before the turn 1 wall came in. And so, yeah, did you see them? Yeah, you read off them stats, man. Holy cow, what a year. And boy, he could top that off with an Oktoberfest win, man. That would be just super.
That would be awesome, yeah. Let's talk about some NASCAR racing then over in Loudon, New Hampshire this past weekend. We'll start with the Truck Series. In Stage 1, Chandler went up the track and into Heim on the start of the race. Taylor Gray ended up going up the track as well, got loose. He would spin after getting into Crafton and LaJoy. Mozak, Cruz, Garcia, all involved in that one.
Well, yeah, that was a messy one right there in the first stage. So unfortunate for all that action right there.
Yep. Alexander and Costner got together while Carruth and Hemrick tried to navigate by them. Alexander and Costner would spin. Hemrick would also get a piece of the wall, which was super unfortunate.
Yeah, that Hemrick hit his right rear. That was unfortunate. So, hey, at that time they showed Stuart Friesen, man. He was at the racetrack. He looked good, man. Nothing like good medicine of being at the racetrack, right? That's the best place you can be to get yourself feeling better.
That was awesome to see Stuart there. He said he probably shouldn't be at a racetrack just yet, but he couldn't help himself, and so he found his way there. And it was probably a boost to the team. Like he said, he wanted to do it to boost up the team and show him that he's there, and I think it did just that.
It just did that, man. And, you know, just to get back to the track, man, that's just baby steps of getting back to where he wants to be.
Christopher, Eckes, and Jones would make contact. Eckes and Jones would spin and wreck. Wood got a piece of that one. And then White blew up or lost brakes there. Actually, I think he had a throttle hang wide open there. He went into the wall hard, and Heim would win the stage under caution.
Yeah, he blew up and then he locked up, and it was just unfortunate. And we've seen at New Hampshire, man, that them walls are unforgiving there, man. They hit hard there at that place, man.
They went to the garage for a little bit to fix a hung throttle. So, yeah, it never really came out what it was. But when I heard that they went to the garage during the race, I have a feeling maybe it was a stuck throttle there. And we've seen the unfortunate happen at New Hampshire in the early 2000s. So they're very thankful for the safety measures that have been taken since then. In stage 2, Emmerling would wreck, but Heim would win the stage.
Man, he flipped that stage, man. So, you know, Perez and Ruggiero was up front the whole time, and it sent all the fast guys, you know, towards the middle of the pack. Made the racing interesting watching, like, Corey Heim slice and dice through the pack right there.
Boyd would get into Tomasi, and Tomasi would wreck. Breitinger, Crafton, and Rhodes would wreck hard as well. Man, that was a nasty wreck.
I don't know, but, you know, Crafton sure didn't seem like he was very happy, and they said they didn't even talk to each other afterwards. That was a very vicious hit, man. Breitinger, that whole truck was off the ground when she hit the wall, just swept right across, and yeah, Ben Rhodes had nowhere to go, and he had major damage too. So that was a hard grinder there, man.
Very hard. Heim would go on to win the race over Chandler Smith, Riggs, Ruggiero, Majeski, Enfinger, Honeycutt, LaJoy, Eckes, and Carruth. Heim would also have the fastest lap, 29.886 seconds, which equals 127.444 miles per hour. This is what the points look like now for the truck series. Heim is plus 69, Riggs up 22, Hemrick plus 1, Ankrum right on the cut line at 0, Majeski also at 0, Enfinger minus 3, Carruth minus 5, and Honeycutt minus 7. And they have this week off. They'll wait to go into the Roval.
Yeah, so Chandler Smith and Garcia both got kicked out there. They're out of the championship run, so that was unfortunate for them. So, but how about 9 wins for Heim time, dude? That ties a record, you know, with the Biff. Greg Biffle way back. What was that? That's way back in the 90s, ain't it? And so that record's been around. And, hey, we got a few more races, and I pretty much expect, I think Heim's probably going to break that record.
I would be shocked if he didn't. Yeah, absolutely. The Cup Series then, in Stage 1, Austin Dillon got into Ware, who spun right in front of the leaders there. That was a close call for them. Blaney would win the stage in a one-lap shootout.
Well, that was lucky for Blaney because he had a lock up to miss that one too, man. That was right in his lap, and he avoided that mess.
SVG and Barry make contact. Barry would spin. Hamlin and Gibbs would make contact. Boy, were they racing hard for a few laps there. Hamlin had some things to say on the radio before that happened and after. He did admit after the race that it was a mistake, but Gibbs has posted a few things on his Instagram that makes it seem like he's not totally over it. So there's definitely some smoothing over that need to happen in the Gibbs camp there.
Well, right away they talked to him, and he says he was definitely look forward to racing the next race. That was the best way he could sugarcoat that one, man. So, hey, he's maturing slowly, you know. Maybe a couple years ago, he probably would have did or said something different. So he is maturing. Ty Gibbs is starting to grow up, man.
Yeah, I think you see a little bit of that. Here's the thing I want to talk about the Hamlin and Gibbs incident is, Denny. To me, Denny talks about performing when there's drama, distractions, and pressure. And to an extent, he has. But when it really gets down to it, there's seems to be, I don't want to say a boneheaded mistake, but a mistake that is hard to understand sometimes that derails him. And it seems like he can't overcome it. And I'm wondering if this is it for this year, because now you have potential of splitting the Gibbs camp because you spun and you hurt a teammate, so that's going to be felt throughout the organization. The 19 team, the 54 team, the 20 team, and his team. Is there stuff happening between the shops now? It just seems like it was a mistake that I don't know is worth it, and I feel like he makes those mistakes at the wrong times. And he says he performs when there's drama and all that, but does he really when it gets down to it? I tend to say no. I mean, there's no doubt that he is an unbelievable talent, Hall of Famer. But when it comes down to it, there's just these little mistakes that it's just like, I don't know what you were thinking at that moment, and is this the moment that derails you from the championship? I'm really wondering about that at this time.
That almost affected Christopher Bell. He had to lock it up too, and that's a teammate there. And it's amazing. All of a sudden, the smoke was there, and somehow Christopher Bell turned left. And I mean, they could have piled up all three of the Gibbs cars right there. So, yeah, a lot of this stuff comes on, man. It's just like it's unnecessary. It's a head scratcher, and we see it every year. So let's see what happens as the pressure gets ramped up as we go further in these playoffs, man. Something to keep an eye on.
And the other thing, I did hear a comment being made about it from Denny on his podcast, and it says, this is just the time of year where teammates are going to let teammates go by. And he said, even Ross Chastain let me by. That's not necessarily how this is going to work. Just because you're a teammate, I don't have to let you by. I'm trying to put myself in the best position. I have an obligation to my team to run the best. So I don't know. Interesting. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. Can Denny overcome it? Does it affect the rest of the organization? We'll see. After the first round, it seemed like they were a shoo-in to go all the way, but now is there going to be some fracturing or something like that? We'll see, but yeah, we'll talk more about the race here. Brad and SVG would make contact while being 5 wide. Brad actually hit the inside wall as well. There was a scuff on the inside wall. I'm not sure how many times we've seen that. That might be a first. But SVG would spin. Bell would get a piece of that. Busch, Suarez, and Haley were all collected as well.
Yep. So another pile up here in stage 2.
Nemechek would spin and nail the wall. That was another nasty hit.
That was hard with a capital H on that one. That was a brutal hit there.
Logano would win the second stage. In the last stage, Austin Dillon and Ware get together again. Ware wrecks. This was just after the last green flag stops as well.
Yep, so that mixes that all up just like it always does. It seems like every week, man.
Blaney would go on and win the race over Barry, Byron, Logano, Elliott, Bell, Larson, McDowell, Chastain, and Briscoe. Hocevar would have the fastest lap, 29.923 seconds, which equals 127.287 miles per hour. I was going to tell you, Mark, when we were doing the podcast the last time, and I didn't. Everyone was talking about Joe Gibbs, but I was kind of looking at New Hampshire, similar to Worldwide Technology. And who's been doing well at Worldwide Technology? Penske. You talk about Logano, Blaney, Cindric. I thought Cindric was going to be the one to kind of watch that people weren't paying attention to. It didn't turn out that way. It was Blaney and Logano that led a bunch throughout the race.
But Barry sure looked good, and it's unfortunate, the pressures of the playoffs is out of the picture for him, but he kept Blaney honest, man. Good to see Barry run a good race because it's been really terrible for him being on fire and out of races in the first lap and everything. So good to see him get a top 2 there. So, but yeah, Penske sure looked pretty sharp there at New Hampshire.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and Barry was glad to get the last 3 races behind him because, man, those did not go well. But the points look like this. So Blaney is advanced with his win. Byron is up 47. Larson plus 41. Bell up 29. Hamlin plus 27. Logano up 24. Elliott plus 14. Briscoe up 12. Chastain minus 12. Cindric minus 19. Tyler Reddick is minus 23. And Bubba Wallace is minus 27. It was surprising to see Bubba Wallace struggle like they did over in New Hampshire, too. That was another story that came out of there.
Yeah, the 45 and 23 are on the caboose here, the points, man. And I don't know. It's, maybe with the other stuff that's going on with that team and breaking, there's what's going on behind the scenes that makes you wonder if it's starting to work on the performance of 23-11. So it's getting to be already a must-win situation because being more than 20 points behind right now and being last, that's going to be a tough road to hoe. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah. Let's talk about some news here before we talk about the TV schedule here for Kansas and make our picks. Tony Stewart will drive the NHRA Top Fuel car for Elite Motorsports in 2026. Remember, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, it came out that Leah Pruitt would get behind the wheel, his wife. So he was going to take a step back and have to figure out other plans. He's now figured out those other plans, and he's going to be in the Top Fuel car for Elite Motorsports, racing against his wife.
Oh, far out, man. Explain that once when you beat her, right?
IndyCar news then. Penske has signed David Malukas to a multi-year agreement to drive the number 12 Verizon Chevrolet. I've been talking about that, has been talked about for a while now behind the scenes, so that finally came out this past week. Also, Indy next champion Dennis Hogger is joining Dale Coyne Racing for 2026. They'll also have a technical partnership with Andretti Global. Jack Harvey is going to run the Indy 500 next year once again for Dreyer and Reinbold Racing. And then some interesting news came out here. Andretti Global, talking about them again, has hired Ron Rzuski, who was one of the Team Penske executives released in May after the Indy 500 debacle and that part in the back of the car, as team principal for over IndyCar and Indy Next programs. He starts in January. Rob Edwards, who was in that role, will be Chief Performance Officer for TWG Motorsports, which oversees Andretti, Spire, and more.
Hey, that's silly season for IndyCar, but yeah, the off season's on, man. But we're already looking forward to 26.
Also, some cool news for IndyCar. They were doing some work to repair a line of bumps in Turn 2 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They uncovered the original brick surface originally placed in 1909. Really cool. If you can go out to social media or to websites, go check that out. But they did discover the original brick surface back in 1909 there while trying to fix some bumps. So that's some cool history there.
Wow. Yeah. They said there were some bricks all over the place back behind a golf course and behind in a water trap or whatever. So there is bricks laying around, man. I bet you the price of a brick. Wouldn't you like to have one of them? That'd be pretty cool. We'd be kissing that brick every once in a while, right, buddy?
I was going to say, if I can get my hand on one of those bricks, I want one. I have a foam one. I want the real one. So if anyone out there listening can give us some tips on how to get into that water, and I'll at least search it myself. I'll go dig, or if they're digging up these bricks or have a few for sale, hopefully it's at a price that I can get my hands on. I do want one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about history, man. Oh, man. That place used to be all bricks, man. Remember when we went there and we found out how that start-finish line goes all the way into the infield and all the way through the middle of the track. It's that tour that we took down there was just amazing. And if you're ever in Indianapolis, you just should stop by. The new museum has been redone. It's been closed for 18 months. I've seen some pictures from the inside, man. They really modernized it. It looks really sharp, and it's probably going to be another must stop if we go through Indy.
And remember, we talked about that new museum, and the Wisconsin company played a big role in that. So we talked about that in the past. So another reason to kind of go down and support, because a Wisconsin company had a big role in that. So another cool thing there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if those, everyone says if those walls could talk, maybe it's if those bricks could talk.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Xfinity news: Rajah Caruth will be behind the wheel of the number 17 car this weekend at Kansas.
All right, we'll see how that goes. That 17 car does get around, so we'll see how he can do on that.
Trevor Bayne will be behind the wheel of the number 24 Sam Hunt Racing car at Las Vegas.
He's still relevant, man. All of a sudden he's not around. All of a sudden you hear him pop up. He won the Daytona 500, man. I bet you his life sure changed since then. But boy, it's kind of funny where he couldn't find himself a full-time ride.
Yeah, and he's been doing that TV stuff for Prime and all that. So he was around the sport as a commentator and analyst and all that. So he's been around. But anyway, Brendan Queen will jump back behind the number 11 Chevy for colleague as well. And this news just dropped before we hopped on here. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Mark. News about Rodney Childers. He is joining Junior Motorsports in 2026 as the crew chief for the number 1 car. Carson Kvapil and Connor Zilich will share the ride with the number of races for each to be determined. Couple of things there. I'm not necessarily surprised that Rodney joins Junior Motorsports. Them two have been friends for a very long time. Seems like it would be a good fit, especially if Rodney does want to, maybe this last time being full-time crew chief makes him want to take a step back a little bit. This gives him maybe a little more freedom being in the Xfinity Series. The other thing that was interesting is it now announced that Carson Kvapil and Connor Zilich will share the ride. That means, presumably, unless Carson has a different ride lined up for the rest of the year, that he is no longer full-time, which is super unfortunate in my opinion.
That was what was the biggest thing of the whole story I saw. Was like, huh? They're sharing a ride, and all right, what's Kvapil got? What's he got on the back burner? Is he gonna do a temporary cup ride, or we'll have to see, because there's open end on that one. But we knew Rodney Childers was going to come back. We mentioned that last year, saying, you know what, he's just probably going to sit back and look at the playing field, and he's still got the itch to get back in there. So back with Junior Motorsports, that's a good place for him right there.
Yeah, and there had been rumors that he was going to go somewhere within the Cup Series, because when was he let go, Mark? In March or April of this year from Spire?
Was it like May, just before Memorial Day? Right in there, somewhere the first part of May, maybe? Yep, yeah. Right in the spring.
Yeah, so, but then also this came out with Junior Motorsports. Makes a lot of sense. I just hope that Carson can kind of piecemeal, for lack of a better term, the rest of the season with someone else. Like maybe he can hop in a ride that can get him the rest of the races to be full time. But we'll see how it shakes out. Just hope that Carson can stay in the top series, because he definitely has the talent to do so.
Absolutely, we've seen that, man. So yeah, we'll see where this goes and which direction that's going to happen. Yeah, it's surprising. Zilich, is affiliated with Junior Motorsports there too. I mean, he still is. He's going to Trackhouse, but he's still going to be back there. So he didn't burn no bridge. Didn't burn a bridge there. So, and we know how talented he is. If the road course comes up, why not stick him in that car? So maybe Kvapil will be racing all the other races, and just the road courses that Zilich will just dominate like he always does.
Yeah. Cup Series news then. New RFK Racing president is Chip Bowers. He's the former president of sports entertainment consultant agency Elevate, former president of BizOps for Miami Marlins, former CMO of Golden State Warriors. Kozlowski said that his extensive sales and marketing background will be a tremendous asset there for RFK.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been involved, so yeah, that's okay.
Casey Mears will do the final 3 Cup races of the season with Garage 66. He is currently 9 starts short of 500, so his goal is to get to 500 Cup starts. He's 9 away, so he'll be 6 after this season.
He's been gone for a while, man. Yeah, we haven't heard much of him, but yeah, he's coming back and race a little bit, so still relevant.
He ran those few races earlier this year, the 102, and then haven't heard much from him. So glad that he's got 3 more on the schedule.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of news that I have is Randall Burnett is joining Trackhouse as Connor Zilich's crew chief for 2026. So he will move away from Kyle Busch and Rich Childress Racing and go over to Trackhouse for Connor Zilich next year.
Okay, so we'll find out if he's in the 87 or the 99, if he's going to keep that number. That's the only thing that we got on Zilich on that one. So we'll find that out later this off season.
Absolutely. All right, Mark, before we make our picks, is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Something sad, man. Something sad just happened this last weekend, man. They locked the doors at Beaver Dam, man, and Beaver Dam is going to be a no more. And I tip my hat down there for another racetrack that's going to go through what we don't want to see, and it's unfortunate. And so, pretty sad deal. Love that place, man. Quite modern, everything like that, and it's gone away. So, so rest in peace, there, Beaver Dam.
Man, trying to find the right words. Just sucks. It just sucks. I was there a few times.
Especially when you can pull a national series in there, the national series kept coming back. So I know they've got the place 3 miles down the road, but it's not like the facility that they're at now. So maybe they can maybe they'll build on that down the road, but it's nothing like what they've got now.
Yeah. It just stinks. Get out and support your local short tracks. We don't need any more to go away. This has happened way too many times over the last few years. We do not need this anymore.
Yeah, so that's the sad news out of there, man. But otherwise, you've covered all the bases, man. It all looks pretty good right now.
Sounds good. It's kind of hard to move away from that, but we'll do so. All right, let's make our picks for Kansas, starting with the Xfinity Series. Eric Almirola is the defending winner of the race there. Unfortunately, I get to go first again. I am going to pick Sam Mayer.
Oh, why not? That's a heck of a pick at Kansas, man, for sure. Hey, I'm going to somebody else that runs really good there is Brandon Jones. And I looked through his results, and holy cow, he knows how to get around Kansas. So I'll fire up the 20 on you this weekend.
If I'm not mistaken, he might even have ARCA wins there, because sometimes he's double dipping with the ARCA series sometimes. And I think that's where he runs. So, yeah, that's a good pick there. As far as the Cup Series, then the defending winner is Ross Chastain. I get to go first. I'm going to pick Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick runs well there. He needs a good day to be able to put himself in his position to advance. So I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
Boy, that'd be a shot in the arm for that team, man, because they've just been just drifting along here. And it looks like they got the speed, but they just ain't peaking at the right time. So good luck with that pick. Hey, man, I know I'm going to go over on the other side on the Cup here, somebody that runs really well also. And I'm going to give you a big dose of Ross Chastain. That looks like a good pick for me here at Kansas for the Cup race.
Yeah, the defending winner there, hard to not pick him. So good picking by you. You've had an incredible season. I'm definitely against it here, as we've stated before. So, hey, man, Kansas this upcoming weekend. This is the TV schedule, or the schedule for out there. Friday at 3:30 is ARCA practice and qualifying. And then 7 o'clock on Friday on FS1 is the ARCA race, 100 laps there. In the 70s with 0% chance. Saturday at 9:30 on the CW app, Xfinity practice and qualifying. Noon on True TV is Cup practice and qualifying. 2:30 back on the CW is pre-race. 3 o'clock on the CW is the Xfinity race. Stages of 45, 45, and 110. 5 sets of tires for the race for the Xfinity series. Also in the 70s with 0% chance. Sunday, 1:30 on USA is pre-race. 2 o'clock on USA, the Cup Series race will get going. Stages of 80, 85, and 102. 9 sets of tires in the 80s with 0% chance. So a beautiful weekend down there at Kansas Speedway. As for us, again, we are going out to 141 Speedway tomorrow night. They got the late models coming out there. So the WIR quarter mile late models, a couple of pro late models joining on dirt. I know they have a bunch of practice and stuff going on for sports mods and other divisions. So come on out to 141, have some fun, come talk some racing with us. We always love that. And then Saturday, Mark, up to Marshfield for the Chili Implements Fall Shootout. Always a great place to go. I love going up to Marshfield. We had Brandon Ashenbrenner on a few weeks ago to talk about it. Just some great people up there. So excited to get up there this weekend as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend. You know, you sprinkle in some NASCAR racing and ARCA racing in there as well. So it's going to be a great weekend, man.
So, hey, you get to check off 141 off the list because you haven't been there yet before.
That is correct. Yes, another reason I'm excited to go out to 141. I got to see the place. I have seen videos and I have heard many, many stories from my family when my uncle Zuma Newman raced out there back in the day, and I have not gotten out there. So I'm excited to check another one off the list.
You guys, your goggles, are they handy, or should I bring my pair along?
I think this time, since I got these things that I need to see with, I think I might just need some eyeglass wipes. So I'll bring some of those along this time.
Very good. And you're announcing up at Marshfield. I mean, just hearing you on the loudspeaker is worth the price of admission right there, huh?
Well, I appreciate that. It's fun to get up there to Marshfield. Like I said, I'm put in a position to really succeed when I go up there, and Brandon and the DeBoer family and the Breivik family have been just wonderful. Everywhere I've gone, you know, people have been great. WIR has been tremendous too, and everything. Anywhere I've gone, they've been great. But Marshfield is another great place. So I'm excited to get up there. They provide some great racing, great people. It is just awesome. They have that benefit kind of deal going on up there as well. For the Cisco family on Friday night. So there's some racing Friday night. They've got that event going on. So if you're up in that way, make sure to support that. That's a big deal for that family. They lost their home in a fire. We heard Brandon talk about that. So get out and support that. Come on out Saturday for some racing as well. So yeah, I appreciate the kind words, my friend, but it's just going to be a blast, and it's going to be just around some great people. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, come on, fans. Get up on the Marshfield, man. The weather is going to be beautiful. We love that racetrack, man. We just don't get enough time to get on up there. So all our friends and everybody, let's all just pack the place, man. Let's go up there and let's have a good time.
No doubt. Got to thank Tim with the Corp Racing, Ben and Carrie with Valley Gasket as well for all the support and everything they're doing for the community. Mark, thank you as always, my friend. It's incredible to just keep doing this with you and all that you do with the videos and stuff here. And thanks everyone else for your support. It means the world to us. We just love doing this. So hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Can't wait to talk some more racing with you. Hope to see you soon. Hope to see you either at 141 Thursday, Marshfield Saturday, or Fest coming up the next weekend. We still got a podcast coming up next week, so we'll talk more about that. But appreciate it, everyone. Have a great week. Hope to see you at a racetrack. And hey, we'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you at the track, dude.
See ya.
This has been a production of Lore Sports. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.